Hi guys, Atticus here. This is the gear video I promised you. And before we start, I want you to know that my gear isn't really that much different from other hikers. But the one caveat to me is when I was buying gear, I was looking around for see how much it weighed on people's YouTube videos. And a couple of people gave references to how much it weighed. A lot of people believe you can just look at what the manufacturer spec is. I found that manufacturing tolerances may cause things to weigh more or less. Also, sometimes it's just not as accurate depending on how you're carrying it, what you're doing with it. So I weighed all of my gear, and what I used to weigh it for my backpack, which is too big for my scale, I used a digital luggage scale. It tells, you can set it for kilograms or pounds. For all the other gear, I was able to get it on this digital scale, kitchen scale that my wife has. It puts everything into grams or ounces. And then the reason I use LighterPack is you can categorize your information, and I've just done a printout from the LighterPack app. As you can see, I have a lot of different categories here. You have the color-coded pie chart, which is each category gets its own color, and then you get a list by category of each article, my description of it, and plus how much it weighs, and then the total for each. If anyone's interested, I will put the link to my LighterPack list in the descriptions. So now we'll get started on going through my gear. We're starting with my big three: backpack, sleeping system, and tent. First, we'll talk about the backpack. It's a Hyperlight mountain gear, white. It's the 4400 Southwest. I know a lot of people think that's extremely large. I did have, in 2019, I used a 55 liter, which was the total pack, whereas this one is not. And it was tight getting everything in. I didn't particularly like it. I've tried this one, I like it. And the best part for me is I don't have to fill it all the way up. Just keep rolling it down to where I want it. And say I want to come out of town with a 6-pack of beverages for my crew or my friends, I've got room. The pack weight includes my hand sanitizer, clip for my iPhone, and my water bottle clip. I love this pack. It also has the weight on LighterPack also includes the compactor bag that's inside to help with waterproof. This bag's supposed to be waterproof. They recommend, just to be sure, put another liner in it. So I'm using a compactor bag. But as Dixie from Homemade Wanderlust says, we pack our fears. And my biggest fear is being wet and cold at night when I'm trying to sleep. So my sleep quilt is a Warbonnet Diamondback top quilt, 0 degree. I've also got it in a Sea to Summit compression dry bag. Like I said, you pack your fears. Z-Packs duplex tent. There's all over the internet about those. 8 MSR mini groundhog stakes for the tent. And then I have a Thermarest Neo Air X-Therm sleeping pad and the inflator pack for it, inflator bag for it. I know it's heavier, I know it's noisier, but when I went out in 2019, the thing that kept me coldest at night was my pad. I could not stay warm enough coming from the pad. I would get cold from the bottom, especially if I have to stay in a shelter, because generally they're off the ground and they have a lot of wind under them, so the pad would get cold. But the Thermarest, that's the big Mac Daddy, warmest, highest R value pad I can find, so that's what I'm taking. This is my big three, and we'll move on to the next category. This is most of my electronic category. I can't show you the camera because I'm using my phone as my camera. I will tell you it's a iPhone 11 Pro Max with an OtterBox case. That's going to be how I'm going to be videoing. So you won't see the camera, of course. Couple of things. First, we'll go into electronics. The headlamp, a Black Diamond 325 spot. Really like it. Tripod for my camera to make some of the good shots and do maybe some time lapse. Also the camera phone or camera bracket. A 10,000 amp hour rechargeable battery pack. A thumb drive in case I can't upload wirelessly. I can download it into this, then jump on a computer and upload my videos. A thermometer and carabiner just to be able to put this on the back of my pack, just to know what the temperature is. It's kind of fun to know. Sea to Summit dry sack, compression sack. Inside is my charging cords, things like that. Also, I have suffered job-related hearing loss, so I have rechargeable hearing aids. I'm not completely deaf, it's just one particular range of sound that I can't hear, but I have rechargeable hearing aids, so the hearing aid case and the rechargeable battery pack for it will also be in here. But that is my electronics. This is my cooking category. We'll start with my cook system, which is an MSR wind burner system. Got the little resealable top. It fit the pot, connects and fits on the burner screws onto the propane tank. I really like this system. It also has its own cup with measuring graduations on it, and it fits on the bottom. This is my MSR propane. It's a large can. When this is empty, I will more than likely move down to the smaller cans. It just happens to be one that I had left over, so I'm going to use it up. My big disposable lighter to light my stove. The plastic stand for the propane tank. Oops, there we go. All right, there. And my titanium spork. Also, I have a handy wipe towel, which is good for, wiping up spills, rinses out, dries quickly. You can wring these things out over and over and just keep using them, and they dry very quickly. They're very absorbent as well. But also just a small piece of a kitchen sponge with a scrubber made on the other side in the event that I get food in there, stuck on there, or just to clean it out with. This also, I'm carrying some spare Ziploc bags. I usually keep a quart bag like in my back pocket or the outside bag of my pack. Grab it, throw my phone in it if it starts to pour rain, something like that. Also, the big 1 gallon size is my trash bag. And finally, the thing I like is from Packet Gourmet. They make some fantastic freeze-dried meals. I've taken a lot of those with me as well. But anyway, this is their cozy, and I'll heat the water here, put like my ramen or my noodles in quart Ziploc freezer bag, pour the water in there, and then close it up and drop it in this to keep it warm longer. It helps it retain the heat. It's insulated, it's got a reflective liner, and I've used these before. It's my second one, and I really like the way it retains the heat, and I'm able to particularly my noodles, thoroughly cook those. I do not particularly like crunchy noodles. I'll eat them if I have to, but this prevents me from having to do that. So that is my cooking category. This is what I call my safety category. Start with my microspikes. I will use these if I need them, probably in the Smokies. In 2019, when I went out, my trail family and I ran into 2 different snow events in the Smokies, and then during the day it would melt some and it froze into ice overnight. I fell in a rocky section and cracked a kneecap. So I have the microspikes for mainly for the Smoky Mountain area, and I will more than likely send these home as soon as I'm through the Smokies. I have the Cardin insect repellent spray. I know it's a big aerosol, it's heavier than you can get, but I don't like the lotions. I don't like the way they make my skin feel. I don't like having them on my hands, but it's important to me to have protection. My niece has been suffering from the effects of Lyme disease for over 2 years, and it's been pretty devastating to her life. So take that, protect myself from ticks. Frontiersman bear spray. I'm not really taking it for the bears. When I was on the trail in 2019, we were out there when James Jordan killed the hiker. We knew him as Sovereign by his trail name. I'm going to keep this because I'm carrying bear spray more to protect myself from people than to protect myself from bears. I'm not worried about bears as much. They pretty much are going to run from you if they encounter you. But to keep the bears safe, I have my food storage system. This is basically this is just my food hanging system. It's a rock bag, the bear bag line that I throw over the limb and suspend it from, and a carabiner to pull my food bag up. My food bag, I got the big one. But the reason is all my food in it, and then anything that might have a scent, if it's chapstick, if it's toothpaste, anything. Even my trash bag at night goes in here, gets sealed up, gets hung in the tree in my food bag. The reason for the sticker, when you get into the Smokies or anywhere really, and these are suspended, there's a lot of food bags this material and this color. And I remember, I think it was Molly's Ridge Shelter in the Smokies. The next morning I got up to get my food bag down, so have breakfast, and I had to lower 4 different food bags before I found mine. They all looked the same. I was watching Silva Outdoors, and as she did her shakedown hike, she ran into that issue a couple of places where there were other hikers, and she recommended putting a sticker on your food bag so you know it's yours. So that's what I did. And then my other bit of safety for the bears, to keep the bears from, or try to prevent them from smelling my food, is an OpSac odor-proof sack. I used these in 2019 and had no problems whatsoever. This is mainly protection for bears. If a bear gets into your food or you have an interaction with a bear, problem bears get dealt with severely. If a bear becomes a problem, if it becomes habituated to humans and thinks they're a source of food, a lot of times, from what I've heard from the locals in the area when I was hiking through, they'll try to relocate the bear. But as one of the locals up in Tennessee told me, he said, once you get a trash bear or a bear going through food, it's a bad bear because it's not going to stop. So they end up putting the bear down. So I'm going to do what I can to protect the bear out there so that I don't cause to him or her to have to be destroyed. So that's my safety. I don't particularly like exceptionally long videos. So I'm going to divide my gear video into 2 or 3 parts just to kind of break the monotony, make it a little more watchable. This is the end of the part 1 video.